How to overcome your social anxiety with speaking to women in public, I'm going to explain in this video. So I know a lot of guys have got a terrifying fear of doing this. So first of all, let's speak about what your fear is, what all your fears are. I would say from experience of coaching men for almost 11 years in the area of social anxiety, confidence, helping guys to overcome their fears of starting a business, of being more honest with people, job interviews, phone calls, first dates, speaking to women in public, in real life, speaking in front of the camera, doing public speaking. The fear is that you're going to get nervous in front of women, that you're going to get awkward, and you're afraid of being embarrassed. You're afraid of them seeing you nervous, running out of things to say, stammering, stuttering, going red, not being able to maintain eye contact, struggling to show your emotions. So that's the first fear. The second fear is that you're worried about upsetting women. You're worried about women thinking that you're creepy, or you're weird, or you're bothering them, or you're strange. The next fear is that you're afraid that she's going to not find you attractive. She's going to think you're repulsive, you're ugly. She's going to say she's got a boyfriend. She might shout at you. So it's fears of confrontation, fears of rejection, and a fear of embarrassing yourself and making a fool of yourself or coming across boring. So all of it comes back to a fear of not being loved by women, a fear of being rejected, and it even goes deeper into, feelings that you've felt from your childhood, things that you haven't dealt with, etc. And also a fear of what other people will think. What if I speak to a woman and she's fine, but somebody else says, "Hey, what you doing?" or "That's weird," or "Stop bothering her." So the best advice I can give you is, number one, have a good respect and outlook on women before you speak to them. Go over the values that I've been brought up with, the values that my faith teaches me, Christian values, or the values that your faith teaches you. When you know that you've got good intentions, you're not ashamed, you're not trying to hide anything. So if you're honest with women and you don't have a hidden agenda, you're not trying to trick them, and you're transparent and you're respectful, they're going to see that when you speak to them. That's going to come across, that translates straight away. Same if you're out on the street or in any place in public. If someone comes up to you and you don't know why they're coming up to you, you're going to feel a bit on edge. It's human nature. But if they're asking you for money or for change or a charity or directions or you feel safe. So obviously you have to take into account that, of course, some women might not feel safe if they don't know why you're speaking to them, which is why I've explained and I teach men to be honest from the start. And obviously if you speak to a woman in public and she's not comfortable with you speaking to her, then you respect that and move on. And I spoke to a police officer. I've coached several police officers, and I asked him about laws on harassment and stuff like this, and he said to me, if it's legal, you can speak to a woman in public anywhere, but if she doesn't want to talk to you and she says, "I'm not comfortable," then as long as you respect that and you move on and you don't keep pursuing the conversation, then you're not doing anything wrong, you're not breaking the law. So it's just having a basic understanding of the law, having respect for other people, respecting women. And in my experience, that very rarely happens when you're honest and you're just transparent. Because all you're trying to do is build a connection, especially if you want to get a girlfriend and get a relationship. And 90% of all the relationships I've had with women have been from meeting them in real life and being honest with them from the start. And that's why they trusted me, and that's why they went out of me and became my girlfriend. So there's so many lovely women out there that are kind and open and don't mind you approaching them, as long as you do it in a respectful way and you're confident and you're clear on why you're coming over. So it's like, nice to meet you, I think you look great, or you're nice, or nice to meet you. If you don't want to talk to me, that's fine, I respect that. Just having good manners and respect. And most of these things that I'm teaching today, these ethics, if you practice them, you don't have that much anxiety. Now, the reality is, the next part is, you're going to get nervous from time to time. You're going to be awkward, because it's always a little bit nerve-wracking and awkward when you're starting a conversation with someone that you don't know. We've all got to face that fear, in business, in life, just in life in general. But if you don't face that fear, then how can you get to know someone? How are you going to get to meet a woman? And obviously online dating doesn't work for every man. And a lot of guys have got anxiety problems, mental health issues, depression, as women do. So going out and meeting women in real life is very healthy if you do it in the right way, and you're honest. And obviously, it's about having that respect. And if a woman does want to speak to you, then she's going to talk to you. She has a choice. You're not forcing her. And if you have a connection, she likes you, she talks to you, she asks you questions, she's comfortable, then you ask her out, and if she says yes, then you go on a date. So it's pretty simple, but obviously what's challenging is facing the fear. And that's like any fear. So the actual practice is, you have to practice being in your own feelings of anxiety and learning to communicate. And that's how I got over a lot of my anxieties. I had bad social anxiety. I couldn't speak in front of a camera. I couldn't go to job interviews. I was anxious around family, friends, in all situations. But I exposed myself to more social situations. So it's the exposure. And this is what I'm going to be teaching 4 dedicated men on my weekend confidence program workshop on December the 10th and the 11th in London. I'm going to take you out for a weekend. I'm going to teach you how to speak to women with good ethics, how to be appropriate and be a gentleman. And you're going to see that most women are going to love it. You're going to get real experience for yourself when you're honest and you don't have a hidden motive and you're just being sincere. Then you take the pressure off. And another thing that guys do, which inhibits them, is too much pressure to get a date. You can't force someone to like you. You can make an invitation, you can be yourself, you can be honest, you can be complimentary, you can be interested, you can ask questions, you can start a conversation. And if the girl likes you and there's chemistry, then it's going to naturally go towards a number in a date, and then you can ask. It's just common sense, but obviously not all guys have it. So I teach men how to be honest with women, how to be confident, how to have good social skills. And these are all the things that women have said to me that they like in men. And I've obviously, when I've had a girlfriend, I've asked her, like, what was it that you liked about me, or the way that I spoke to you when we met in public, in a park, in a coffee shop. And a lot of the time said, oh, I like your smile, like that you were very honest, you're very transparent, and you made me feel comfortable. So a lot of it is about learning how to make women feel comfortable. And you can only do that, in my experience, by being respectful, confident, and being yourself, and not having a hidden motive. So don't lie, don't go and say, well, I need directions, when really you don't want directions. You want to ask her out on a date, or you want to give her a compliment, or you want to get to know her, ask her questions. Be honest from the start. At least that way a woman's got a choice if she wants to talk to you. If she wants to talk to you, she'll speak to you. If she's got a boyfriend, she'll tell you. You have to accept that and respect that and move on. We all get rejected in life. It's part of life. It's about not giving up. And like I said on my live stream, a lot of you appreciated it. And there's a hell of a lot of women that have followed my channel, and they love what I teach because they know it's sincere and they know the values are excellent and there's no trickery at all. I don't teach that. Most of society teaches that. Most of the nightclubs, the online dating world, the magazines, the TV, they teach you these tactics, and I don't teach that. I don't live by that. That's not what God's put in my heart, and that's not what I'm about. So for people that think that I teach tactics or stuff, you're completely wrong. That's your negative opinion, and that's your own ignorance. Do a bit more research. But it doesn't bother me what you think, because I know what I teach. I know my intentions are good, and I know that it helps men and women. And the teaching that I teach guys, it helps them to not commit suicide. It helps them to form good relationships with women and everyone in their life, their family. So these ethics help you in all areas of life, especially with social anxiety. So obviously, and it's also dealing with rejection. Like I said, it's not personal. Obviously, some women in London, in big cities, sometimes I'm in a rush, so I'm not rejecting someone. I can't always speak to them. Another day I can talk to them. So you just have to not take it personal. And it's really about just enjoying speaking to women without putting pressure on yourself. It's not a failure, guys, if you speak to a woman in Starbucks and she talks and says, okay, I've got to go now, I'm on the phone. It's just, people are busy. It's just about continuing to speak to more women until you meet someone that does like you and doesn't want to go out of you. But everybody's got to go through rejection. That's how I got my girlfriend many years ago, and that's how I started dating. So you have to learn to handle rejection. I know it's not easy, but you will handle it with more experience, and I teach that on the weekend program. I help you to handle rejection by looking at the positives. And I said on my live stream, this is one question I'm going to ask you guys to go away and answer. Instead of thinking about, well, what can I get from women? Ask yourself, what can I give? And when you come from that frame of mind, you have a better attitude towards women, and they like you more because you're more sincere, you're coming from your heart. So I teach this, I live what I teach. You know, I'm not afraid to say I teach men how to speak to women from their heart, being transparent, not having a hidden motive, not hiding behind techniques or personas or mask or trying to copy someone else, not to be me but to be yourself. And obviously you've got to work at that to get that confidence. And I know that you guys can do it because I done it, and I had crippling anxiety, and I still live with anxiety every day. As you guys know, I have a mental health problem, but I don't let the mental health problem define me. And I don't let it stop me from living the life that I live and teaching and changing people's lives. And it was nice. I've had quite a lot of women send me messages. I've had it, and saying that my teachings help them in their life to speak to people. So it's not just one-sided. The work that I do isn't just geared and orientated towards helping men. It's to help both men and women. It takes two to be in a relationship. Women have massively helped me in my life, and so have guys. So of course we're going to get some negative men and women. You're always going to get that. Can't please everyone. So guys, if you're going to speak to women in any situation, I teach guys how to be confident everywhere. On a plane, on an airport, in church, at a meeting. It doesn't really matter where you are, it's where you come from. It's having good values and good ethics. And I think a lot of men are miseducated. They're taught the wrong way. They're taught to not respect women. And they come from a bad mindset. It's not because they're bad guys, it's because they get bad advice and they're easily led. So it's important, and obviously if you guys don't agree with my values, then obviously you're not going to work with me, you're not going to follow me, I'm not going to take that personal. You're old enough to make your own choices. But if you want to learn how to meet women and get a girlfriend and be honest and get over your social anxiety so you can be more confident in life in general, then subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're interested in coming on the weekend program in December the 10th and the 11th, send me an email in the box below. Any questions you've got, I'll answer your questions. The price, the time, what we're going to do. I've told you most of what we're going to do. And we're not just going to go out and practice. You know, we're going to have normal conversations with women. You know, practice introducing ourselves, saying hello, how's your day going, nice to meet you, and just see where it goes from there. That's mostly what we do. Once you learn how to introduce yourself, make a woman feel comfortable, be honest, give a compliment, start a conversation, basic things, you know, where did you grow up, how's your day going, nice to meet you, my name's Jonathan, what's your name? Once you learn these basic social skills and you get more comfortable and confident and relaxed with women, you're naturally going to build deeper connections and you're going to get a date and get a girlfriend. I've helped so many of my clients to get girlfriends. Some of the people that have followed me are married right now. They've gone further than I have in my dating life. I've never been married. Maybe she's out there watching this video and she'll want to marry me. But seriously, my clients have got married from this teaching. I had a client, I met him, I saw him about a year ago, and he said to me in London, I won't say his name, Piccadilly, he said, "You don't remember me, do you, Johnny?" And I said, "No, I know your face, I forget names. I remember we've worked," and he said, "Just want to say thank you. You coached me about 6 years ago, and I met my wife from from the help you gave me." He met his wife in public. Said to me his wife was a lawyer, and he met his wife by being honest, and he spoke to her in London, and at the time she said, "Why did you come up to me? Don't bullshit me, tell me the truth." And he said, "Because you're nice and I'm looking for a girlfriend." And she liked his honesty. They went on a date, they fell in love, they got married. This is the truth. So I know what I teach works if you work it and you've got the courage to be vulnerable and be yourself. And obviously you have to accept and appreciate that not every woman you speak to is going to want to go out with you. Not every woman's going to want to talk to you, and not every woman's going to feel comfortable around you. So all you can do is be as respectful as you can and move on. Because I don't teach men and I don't go out of my way to make anybody feel uncomfortable. But we can't walk on eggshells, you know, we can't help it sometimes if, you know, someone can make me feel uncomfortable and they're not meaning to do it. So you've got to put things into perspective. And when I spoke to a police officer and I educated myself on the law, he said, "What I'm doing is great and you can continue doing it." So whilst it is legal, it's not against the law to speak to women in public or anyone, then we're not breaking the law. And if it was illegal, then we all wouldn't be able to do it, wouldn't be able to speak to each other. So for guys that are paranoid and worried that they're going to get shouted at or they're harassing women, as long as you don't harass women and you're not being rude, then you're not going to get in trouble for doing that, because you're not doing that, and I'm not teaching that, and I'm not doing it. You know, in today's world, you can offend someone for just walking and breathing. Everybody gets offended by everything, but there's lots of people out there that are great and wonderful, and they're the people that you're going to meet on the program or in everyday life, wherever you are. I went to Germany and I spoke to people. People spoke to me on the airport, in public, and I didn't see it as I didn't bother anyone. You know, people come up to me in public if they're friendly and polite, and I know they're not trying to harm me. I'm going to talk to them. If I'm in a rush, I'll say I'm busy. So it works both ways. It's just about treating people how you want to be treated, whether you're speaking to women or anybody. So it's getting over this fear that you can't speak to people in public. You can. You know, I spoke to thousands. People speak to me every day in London, but you've got to be open and you've got to be patient and you've got to stop believing negative things that are in the media or because someone else said it. Just because someone else went out and upset someone or harassed someone, it doesn't mean that you're doing that and I'm doing that and I'm not. So we can't paint everyone with the same brush. It's not right. We are living in a culture, society that apparently goes by not stereotyping people. So it's just putting things into perspective. And that's why for a while I studied the law, I spoke to people, I got advice. Is this okay? Is it appropriate? I don't want to go out my way and hurt anyone, but I'm not going to live in fear and not be able to speak to women because a group of people are ignorant and think every single man who speaks to a woman is bothering them. It's not true. That's not true. That's actually fundamentally not true. You know, it's like me saying that because one woman upset me or one man, every woman upset me, and it isn't true. It's clearly not the truth. That's just blowing things out of proportion. It's like saying, well, someone bullied me at school and I did get bullied, so everyone's going to bully me. It's clearly not true. That's paranoia taken out of context and blowing it way out of proportion. So for me, as long as you're honest, you're respectful, you respect people's space, you're going to meet someone. And as I said, I don't like online dating, and if someone does it, I respect that that's their choice. And I don't enjoy going to nightclubs and getting intoxicated with alcohol. I tried that when I was young. It doesn't feel good. And I'm not judging people if they want to do that. That's their choice. I prefer meeting women in real life, in a park where you're sober, you're not under the influence of drugs and alcohol. And I'm not offending anyone who does that. But I'm just making a point. So it's honest. It's a great way for guys that are open-minded and want to meet a woman who's also open-minded and doesn't mind meeting a man outside of online dating and nightclubs, but in the real world that we live in, you know, whether it's in a park or a place. And I would say to guys, it's probably better, obviously, you know, don't go and speak to a woman down a dark alley. That's not a good idea. Don't frighten a woman. So you've got to have some basic social skills and intelligence. I wouldn't encourage that. You've got to use common sense. If you're going to speak to a woman and you don't want to scare her, make sure that she feels safe and you give her space and there's people around, so she doesn't think that you're doing harm, or you know, she doesn't have a fear of that. So obviously you've got to be aware of your surroundings. And you know, it's about being calm and relaxed. So it was good when I spoke to the police officer because it gave me more confidence in that we're not doing anything wrong. As long as you're respectful and you're confident. And like I said, if it didn't work, then I wouldn't have got a date. I wouldn't have flown to Germany with a girl that I've dated, that I met in public, I met in the park, by being sincere and being honest. And she didn't have a problem. She wouldn't go out with me, wouldn't invite me to Germany. The last girlfriend that I dated, the same, in Covent Garden. She wouldn't go out with me if I was doing something wrong. And she knows everything about me. So when you're honest and you're open and you've got nothing to hide, there's nothing to fear. So this is obviously this takes a lot of courage. But most of what I'm saying, most of my clients, people that follow me, men and women, your parents have brought you up with these values. So it's just not listening to negative people and doing things in a respectful way, the way that you'd want to be treated. So of course that takes courage, but when you do it, it's so rewarding. And like I said, if someone's got a problem with you, generally they'll tell you and you walk away. If a woman doesn't want to speak to you, then you have to say, I respect that, have a good day, and leave her. Walk away, leave her. She's asked you to, but if she wants to talk to you, then she's going to talk to you and she's going to stay there. And you can even say, look, if I'm bothering you, then I'll leave. And I say that to women if I feel that I might make them uncomfortable, and they say, no, you're not bothering me, you can talk, you're a lovely guy. So it's just that honest communication and having that respect, and it comes across. Come on, we're not silly as people. You can tell when someone's got good intentions and they're being respectful versus when they've got bad intentions, or they're asking you, they want money, or they're trying to pickpocket you, or they're trying to harm you. I can read that pretty easily. So, you know, back to what I said about social anxiety, a big part of the anxiety is having the courage to be vulnerable with people, whatever situation, friends, family. It's not just with speaking to women in public, it's right across the board, and even making a video. And I know that's not easy for people, and it wasn't easy for me, and it still isn't, but when you do it, you feel better, you can breathe. So I'm grateful that a lot of women write me messages and say, although I coach men, they're getting a lot of help from my videos, because women have social anxiety as well. And I encourage women that follow me to face their fears and approach men. There's a lot of women that have wrote to me and said, I want to ask a guy out at work, I'm scared I don't know how to approach this situation. Can you give me advice? I said the same advice that I teach men, be honest. You know, take a chance, you've got to risk it. You know, if you get rejected, I know it's not nice, but you've got to get over it. And then you're meeting up. So it's the same advice for women and men. And I don't have a problem if a woman approached me, and it's happened a few times, I'll be flattered. I think most guys would. But, you know, in the society we live in, it's usually the man that has to approach. So it's the same advice for women if they want to approach men in public, and I think they should. And I know that some more women are doing that, and I know there's a dating coach. I know that Hayley teaches men and women to approach. I think it's fantastic what she does, Hayley. It's brilliant. If more men and women spoke to each other in the real world, we live in a better world, we have a better dating, the whole world would be better for both. So I really believe in my message, and I know my message is good. And I know not everyone's going to agree with it, but that's their problem, not mine. I know a lot of people will. There's a lot of men and women that will feel that I'm from my heart that my message is good, and I have good intentions for men and women to meet and have better relationships and have real relationships. At least be able to speak to each other and respect one another. At the very least, that would be a great start. So let me know in the box below how you feel, for guys and the girls. Let me know in the box below, you know, how you feel about what I'm saying. And if you agree, great. If you don't agree, still great. You're entitled to your opinion, as I don't have to agree with you. I don't agree with online dating, but I don't judge and stop others who do it, because for some people, they found love. That's great. I wish you all the best. So everybody's different. Not everyone dates the same. But for me, the most important thing is wherever I'm dating, whatever platform, whether it's social media, Tinder, online, in a club, at a church, I want to come from a good place. I want to come from a place of honesty, respect and love. And I think that's the best place that you can ever come from. What other place is there to come from? Otherwise, it's just about game playing and tricks, and that might sell in magazines and on movies, but that's not how I live my life, and I'm not going to conform to that. No thanks. You know, society tries to force that on men and women, and you end up having mental health problems and being depressed because you're not honest with one another. You can't build anything on that foundation. It's not a good foundation. It's not what my faith teaches me, and it's not what I practice. I refuse. Don't care how many people ridicule me or say I'm different, I'm strange. I'm glad to be the person I am and live from the values that I live from. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you want to join the program, email me in the box below. I'll get on a Zoom call with you for free. I'll talk to you on the call. Obviously the program is paid. Any questions you got, any concerns about time, booking, how many hours, the location, I'll answer all your questions, and it'll be lovely to have you guys on the program. I've only got 4 spaces to let you guys know. I'm not going to take any more, because obviously I've got to teach 4 students and divide time, make sure everyone gets a lot of value and experience. So we're going to go for lunch. We also bond in the group, so the value is the experience, not just with having honest conversations with women, but also we have honest conversations amongst guys, and you know that's quite rare today, because men are afraid to talk about their feelings, their challenges, and I create an environment that's non-judgmental, open, honest. It's just such an amazing experience, hard to put into words. I always struggle to sell it and explain it on a YouTube video, because it's something that you've got to experience in person, in real life. It helps men in all areas, this program, not just with going out and overcoming the anxieties of meeting women in real life, but it helps men with their mental health. It gives them a positive goal in life. It helps them to, you know, to build better relationships. It gives them confidence to go forward in university, in the business world, in the work world. Clients have said to me that from doing my program, they've gotten better with their family. I know that's true, because I got on better with my family from going out facing my fears, all right? See you guys soon. Appreciate the support. Fearless.